Josh Nodert here, Castle Real Estate Team at Coldwell Banker. Let's talk about the final 72 hours leading up to you getting the keys to your new house. I'm going to give you a general rundown of how this works. I will be honest, it's a little different for every purchase, but the general gist of how this works will be a couple days before this 72-hour window, we'll get the clear to close. That's the final approval from the bank, from underwriting. Everyone and their brothers looked at your file, they've looked at all the documents, and they're saying that you are approved for the purchase of this property. So that's kind of the first step that gets this whole final process started. We get that clear to close from the lender. Then as we move forward, the lender is going to send you a closing disclosure. That's going to have every penny from the first penny to the last penny itemized out, listed out in detail. They're also going to send that to the attorney. The attorney's going to send me a copy, and I'm going to also look at it and just make sure that all the dollars and cents make sense. No pun intended. From there, we're going to do a final walkthrough. So realistically, let's say you're closing on a Wednesday. So Wednesday is the closing date. We have an appointment at our local attorney, 10 a.m. We're going to meet at the property, ideally in the morning. Sometimes it's the night before because of scheduling, but I like to meet there the day of. So I don't know, maybe 8 a.m. we meet at the property and we do what's called a final walkthrough. This is one last chance to make sure the property is in the condition it was when we wrote the offer. Now, I want to be honest, we're not looking for little nicks and scuffs and scratches. If there's major damage done to the house, that's a serious issue we want to talk about. But I also want to make sure a tree didn't fall on it, the water heater didn't blow up, there wasn't a fire in the kitchen that they forgot to tell us about. And so we're going to do a walkthrough and just make sure that property is in the similar or better condition as to when we wrote the offer to purchase. Then from there, we're going to head to the attorney's office for closing. Now, there's one other thing that has to happen in this timeline, and we'll talk about the cash to close. So depending on if you have a down payment and the closing costs and how much those are, the lender is going to give you a dollar amount called cash to close. And that's the dollar amount that you are responsible for. So they're going to say, we're giving you a mortgage in this much. So the attorney is expecting that dollar amount to be transferred into the attorney's bank. Because remember, they're the ones that take all the money in and pay all the money out. So they know that's coming from the lender. And then that other dollar amount is going to come from you. And it's probably closing costs plus a down payment, if any. And so you're going to be responsible for either initiating a wire transfer, or you're going to be responsible for getting a cashier's check depending on the dollar amount and the situation and the attorney, and having that available at closing. So when you sign everything, we know that your part is paid for. Once everything's signed, it goes back to the bank to verify that all the paperwork's correct. Then the bank transfers the loan to the attorney. Once the loan has been transferred and the attorney has your cash to close plus the bank's money, then they're going to record the deed. And that's when they actually submit the deed to the county records and it gets recorded in your name. Once the deed's recorded in your name, I call you, give you the biggest congratulations ever, and then you get the keys to your new house. And so there's a lot of steps in that. Maybe watch the video again as we get closer, but that's kind of how it's going to play out from final walkthrough, cash to close, signing, getting the deed recorded, and then you getting the keys to your new house. And that's what you need to know about the final 72 hours. Have a great day.